Hello Forelockers and welcome to Stable Storytime. Today we're in Miss Brocklebank's garden and some of you might know Miss Brocklebank from this great book, All That Glitters by K.M. Payton. And as we're here, I thought I'll read a little bit to you. So we'll start at the beginning. Tummy Cream Bun lost a bracelet while she was mucking out, and she asked me to ask you if you could find it with your metal detector. Millie Hodge was appealing to her brother's better nature, but without much hope. What, in all that horse poo? In the straw? Yuck. Why on earth can't you call that girl by her proper name? Tummy, indeed. How would you like it? Millie's mother demanded. Her real name is Autumn Greenbalm, and her sister is called Bumblebee Greenbalm, so we call them Tummy and Bummy Cream Bun. They don't mind, they laugh. God in heaven, what were their parents thinking of? Their mother Susan found it hard to come to terms with current names like Zack, India, Brooklyn, Jade and such like, and she thought herself daring to call her daughter Millie 13 years ago. Whatever next. The parents are professors. Professors of what? Flora and fauna, presumably? No, psychiatry. That explains it. Millie wasn't sure what it explained. Certainly the Greenbalm parents were pretty loopy, but whose weren't? Hers were dinosaurs, dug up from the past. They wore wax jackets for best, and their only outings were to the cattle market or, occasionally, big deal, to an agricultural show. Their living was breeding beef cattle, so perhaps it was understandable. But Millie thought there was life beyond. It's only pizza and chips. I've only just got in from the calves. They sat down at the table, not waiting for their father. No good feeding him pizza in any case. He reared beef, ate beef, and having pizza set before him would only send him off into one of his frequent rages. To Millie and Jake, pizza was a treat. Will you look for it? Millie persisted to Jake. She says if her mother finds out she was wearing it in the stables, she'll go potty. She said she'll give you a $5 if you find it. I could go down after tea, grudgingly. It wasn't very far after all. The stables were only a field away, downhill towards the river. They belonged to Miss Brocklebank, a rather weird lady who lived in what was once a farm labourer's cottage adjoining the stable yard. Millie spent a good deal of her time there with her friend Imogen, who kept her pony at the livery with Miss Brocklebank. Don't waste time down there, you've got your homework to do. Same old mantra ringing in their ears. They snatched their jackets and set off over the stile of their backyard and down to the field. Jake and Millie's path led to the boundary of her garden, round the top end of it and to the door in the high wall at the stable yard. Jake pushed it open and it revealed the familiar, cosy square of buildings. Imogen's bike was flung down in the middle of the yard. Jake, Grumpy said, "Where then?" "You know where the Cream Bun ponies are, in the end box, the big one." They lived together, a pair like their owners. They were hairy and brown and said to be Dartmoors. They were called Dodo and Duffer. Only one wing of the old yard was given over to the stables. The other three sides, apart from the section used for hay and straw, were filled with junk of ages past, mainly old machinery and carts. In the wing opposite the stables there was a large archway which gave onto a drive which led out onto the main road. But none of them rode this way anymore. The traffic was too bad. Luckily the Cream Bun box was empty. The ponies were out in the field, and there was no sign of Imogen. Millie supposed she'd gone for a ride, a quick one round the fields before it got dark. Jake humped his machine down to the empty box, and Millie sat on the feed bin, drumming her heels, waiting for Imogen. Millie longed to have a pony, but her father said, yes, okay, if it lived across the road with the cattle. He wasn't paying bonkers Brocklebank for livery. But what good was that, separated from her friend by the ghastly and crossable road, so that they were unable to ride together? Jake was already complaining about the pong. Millie took no notice. She loved the smell of ponies, and sat picturing her own stabled happily next to Imogen's Barney. Why was her father so mean? She slipped off the feed bin and went out to see what Imogen was doing. Imogen was coming up the field carrying her saddle and bridle. The ponies were still living out, and she had turned Barney away with the other two Dartmoors. In spite of her parents being lovely and rich and indulging their daughter in largely whatever she wanted, Imogen had chosen a rather manky pony from a horse rescue to call her own, Barney. Even now he was well fed and groomed, he still looked like what he was. A poorly bred cross of dubious parents, probably from a traveller origin. At least he was all one colour, a rather washy bay, but he had a very sweet and affectionate nature and big faithful eyes, and he tried his best to please. As Imogen said, "I just want a friend, not a winner." Millie reckoned Barney was the winner, getting Imogen. Well, don't forget to join in again. Find out if Jake finds Tummy's bracelet and whether Millie's dream eventually comes true and she gets her own pony. See you soon.